Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to focus on MillionOnMars. We're going to cover the UI. If you're a new player and you want to know where the hell is everything, how the hell do I place my lands, what other tips do I have for you, let's check it out. Let's go to the globe. When you log in, this is what you're going to see, and you are going to want to find a place to put your lands down. So just click around. Eventually, you're going to find a spot that has lands like this. This is Arcadia. It does have lands right now. Maybe in a month, 2 months, whatever it takes. These will all be taken probably faster than that. But you want to find a place that has enough plots for you. You just click on jump there. And boom, find yourself a nice section to place your lands. Maybe you're a premium pass user. So you don't need a ton of room unless you're picking up more lands. If you are picking up more lands, which I say having at least a few lands is very nice. 100 space is definitely great, but if you can only afford 50s, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, just click on the dark brown spot, hit claim plot, and boom, you're in business. Now, premium pass users, place your solar panels down first. You might not be able to fit every building that comes in that pack. So place your best solar panel down first, and then the rest of the buildings. Now, let's get into the interface. So you've logged in, you've got your pass. Hopefully you use somebody's referral code, and whether it's mine or another friend of yours, please make sure if somebody else brought you into the game, this game, let somebody know so that they can get credit. Okay. Now let's go to the interface. Boom. This little mushroom right here is your actions tab. This is where you do your eating and drinking. Generally you're going to want to eat on cooldown and drink a Ukraine coffee on cooldown. There are a few other things that you can do. Happy hour is definitely a nice thing to do. All you have to do is buy the little Baju drink, and you can pop that happy hour drink whenever happy hour is available. It's usually the same times every day for about 3 hours. You just gotta look for it, and once you know when it happens, it'll be a lot easier. Remember to log in and click that button. So, next tab, actions. This is where you're going to be able to charge your scavenging tool if you have one. You can open a lockbox. You got Rusty Rigs by Jack. This is a gamble, okay? You're trying to get a mining rig, and it's a 0.5% chance. I'm going to do it right here. Okay, we failed. It cost me 20 dusk. I do not recommend doing this if you don't have a lot of dusk. And by a lot, I mean if you're under 1,000 dusk, I don't recommend doing it. Okay, you do you though. If you have to push that button, you have to push the button. Okay, but it's generally not worth it. It's just like a fun burning mechanic. Okay, just you don't have to do it. Now, one thing you do want to do is the daily job deliver ice, or if it's early in the morning, or at other times it could be deliver regolith. So you're going to want to make sure you have 30 ice or have 30 regolith and do the daily job once a day. And that's going to give you an extra ration and I believe a golden sunflower. So now, speaking of rations, never eat your ration. You save your rations because you'll eventually be able to get a Dustworks accommodation. And if you have enough Dustworks accommodations, you can get a land. Okay. Now let's move on. Profile. This is obviously your profile. You're going to see your XP bar for certain skills. You can see my bar is full in electrical, so I can go up a level. Okay. I have to buy a book and train it. I'll share more about that later, but you can see your XP and how you're doing in different things. So I'm currently 25 in life science. That's the best one I have currently. This is also a place where you can upload an NFT if you want, or an image, or both. This is a spot where you can upload an image for your profile. You don't have to. I don't think you really need it for anything. And more importantly, if you do have some referrals or some friends that you're getting into the game, or if you're somebody else's referral, this is what they see. They will see that you, so-and-so, are in the game and you're actively participating. Generally, it only helps a little bit depending on the amount of activity and what that person is doing. So you can see here, I have one person with 1.4 dusk. That is great. And another person here with 11.5 dusk. That is awesome. So good to see that. Like I said, it helps a little, and a little bit can go a long way over time. So next on the list, that's pretty much most of the profile page. You can see your recipes here, and you can also find your lands, especially if your lands are on different continents. It's really nice to have a spot where you can come click and find your lands that need attention. So let's go to, this is the marketplace. This is the fourth icon down on the left. You'll see your marketplace here. It could start you in the all tab or maybe in the popular tab. You can also click this to only show items that you have. So if you're searching for an item that's not in your inventory, uncheck this. It'll be a lot easier. This is where you can do your buying and selling. Now, if you're new, you're probably going to want to buy some food, and you're probably going to want to buy some water. That way you can have the meals. The meals that we were talking about earlier are on the actions tab, and you can see for a snack, you need 30 food and 10 water. And for a meal, it's 60, 20 water, or 60 food, 20 water. And for a feast, it's 90 food, 30 water. And your rewards just kind of scale up. Snack is really efficient, but if your goal is more stamina, then you're probably going to want to eat a meal or eat a feast. So it just depends on what you want to do. For me, I usually eat feast because the stamina is more important to me than, you know, a 5 or 10% efficiency by going with the snack or the meal. So I like more. So more stam. For me, I eat the feast. Now, and then again, with the Ukraine coffee, the coffee from Ukraine, the Slava Ukraine, is better than the normal coffee. And it's obviously an event right now to kind of show support, obviously, for what's going on. So yeah, drink the Slava Ukraine if you're trying to get more stamina as well. Coffee can be a little expensive, but it's good because the coffee and the food are on different timers. So probably looking to buy some coffee as well. Up to you. Buying and selling. This is all done right here. I have some coffee, so I'm gonna go ahead and click max because I want to sell all of them, except I'm gonna keep one because I'm gonna keep one for myself. I brew coffee, so it's okay that I sell most of it. I'm gonna keep the price the same as the last price because I don't want to undercut my own market, especially right now. I have about 3,000 dusk. No need for me to try to rush and sell this. So these are just good things to think about. If you really, 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 really need a little quick dusk, you can go ahead and undercut. I would say by 0.0, 1 or 0.001. Don't undercut a lot. No need for it. But you do you. Sometimes I'll even put my orders up a pinch higher because I know they will generally sell. So, yeah. So that kind of covers the market. There's tons here, from buildings to the upgrade materials, which are shards. There's tools, all kinds of stuff. But the main thing you want to focus on is buying and selling whatever you're growing or whatever you're doing. If you got a greenhouse, then you're probably selling some food. If you have a CAD, you might be selling some soil or whatever. This is where it's bought and sold. Now, buildings. Once you're in this game, you don't have to shop on Atomic. You don't have to shop anywhere else. Most of the time, 95% of the time, these items are cheaper in game. You can run the numbers yourself. I'm going to save the time. You just have to look, is it cheaper in game? The answer is probably yes. Okay. Especially on most of these buildings. So your money or your dusk can go further by just buying the stuff in game. That is one of the reasons why the dusk token does so well, is because instead of getting a bunch of wax and buying an NFT on Atomic, people will turn their wax into dusk, buy pressure, and use that dusk in game. There's some burning there, and yeah, and then you have your resource, so you don't have to wax up, buy the NFT, import it in the game. You can, or the best route is to just buy dusk, get it into the game. You've created that buy pressure, and then you're also getting the benefit of buying these buildings for cheaper in game. Now, some specialty buildings might not be available. Most of them are. The exception might be the grind and brew. Let me see. Okay, the grind and brew. The packs have not dropped in a while. They haven't been refilled on the shop. Not a complaint. Okay. It's just what it is. Look at legendary grind and brew, 18 days. Mythic grind and brew, 3 months. Rare, 4 days. And it's like, oh, okay, 4 days. It's not so bad. It's not very fast. You're not guaranteed to get that. Last sold was 4 days ago. The common one though, a common grind and brew, 42 minutes ago. So there are still some commons. There are still some uncommons. Last sold 2 hours ago. So, but if you want these higher tier ones, they've kind of dried up. You could still maybe get one, but odds are you might be out of luck. So keep that in mind. Most buildings will be available. Here, I'll prove it right now. Let's type in CAD. Now these packs are dropping, these CADs. These packs are listed just about weekly, and they're available in game, in the in-game shop as well. So they're also pretty available inside the game. So you got legendary sold a day ago, epic sold an hour ago, mythic 11 days, rare 4 hours ago. So these sell quite a bit. I mean, 28 epics in 24 hours. You see, you get the picture. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Okay, so that's the market in a nutshell. I'm going to try to keep these brief. I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but I'm going to try to just do a little overview. The shop is the next button down. Looks like a cart. Makes sense. You have tons of options here. These top, oh shoot, what'd I do? I messed it up. Okay. These land surveys, don't worry about that. That's if you have a rover and you want to basically stake some dusk, and in return, you can get a land 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days later. This is for someone who can afford to send out that much dusk and wait that long to get a land from that deal. This is really, really good. It's just not if you're on a budget, right? If you're like on a $20 to $100 budget, you want to think about something else right now. So these are available. I'll talk about these land surveys in another video, but basically it's a mission off the rover works. It involves staking for long periods of time, and you do get rewarded a land out of it once that staking ends. But don't worry about that if you're on a budget right now, okay? Now, here's what you want, okay? Doesn't matter what budget you're on. If you're pushing like a premium pass or a premium pack, and you've got like $20 or $30 in this game, and you're trying to get some more dusk, and you're earning your way into building a bigger empire on Mars, these land packs are pretty cool. Like in game, these land packs are, I think, of a decent price. You can also find them on the market as well. And they will be a little cheaper than what we just looked at. But if you want to take a dice roll on a land pack and maybe get a better rarity, could be a good option for 1700 dusk. So something to think about. Another thing in this shop, which you probably want to get eventually, is a library. Now I'm buying these libraries on cooldown. And the reason for that is the library provides research. And with that research, you can level up your skills. You need these papers to do it from the library. The library takes about 40 hours to complete that process. So it's kind of a slow process. Most people have multiple libraries. I have 4 myself. I have a bunch at a lower level, and I have 1 that I'm trying to rank up to a high level. Now, really soon, you're going to want a high level library, but don't worry about that so much right now. Just focus, especially if you're a new player, on eventually getting a library and making your own books. The library is, I think, is generally going to have to be level 2 before you can start getting the research that you want. But something to consider. Tea shop. If you're a premium pass user, a tea shop is 700 dusk away. Now, the price on some of these tea items is going through the roof. Let me see, I'll take a look for you. All right. So the tea shop has 1, 2, 3, 4 things that are profitable right now. Mushroom tea is it's a little profitable, and at about 7.6%. That's pretty good. The baju drink is very, very profitable. I don't know how long it takes to make or what goes in it, but the tea shop is, I would say, should be a consideration from you. Not only can you make the mushroom tea, which will give you another cooldown for stamina, and you can also make that baju. So I think it would be a nice way to go, especially if you got the premium pass. That might be just 1 building away from having a nice complete loop. So I don't know for sure, but I think the tea shop uses pretty much the same stuff as the grind and brew. So let's move on. So there's also some other fun little things in here too. But again, if you got the premium pass, I would maybe focus on getting more lands, getting more solar, and then maybe getting more buildings that you like. If you like your greenhouse, cool. Maybe get another greenhouse. If you like another water filter, do that, or another CAD. But yeah, the large solar thing, the large Gen 2 solar pack is pretty good, especially for 15. I don't know about for 1500. You are taking a chance, but it is an option if you want to roll the dice. I don't think it's too bad of a deal. But remember, you can always buy like a rare solar panel for less than that and be guaranteed a good panel. Rare solar panels are good. So there's tons here. Just explore it. Next button is inventory. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is where all your crap's going to go. I should have started with this probably. When you're new to the game, this is where your lands come to deposit and your buildings. What you want to do is go down, hit sync plots, and hopefully your buildings will show up. It does take a couple minutes if you're a fresh account who just opened their premium pass. And if you have any issues, if your stuff's not showing up, talk to the support team in their Discord, in the MillionOnMars Discord. Just talk to them. They'll help you get sorted. Premium pass is for new people only. Okay. So right here, this is a good example. I have stuff to collect. This is what it's going to look like when you have tasks that are finished. It'll give you a number of how many tasks are finished, and it'll be red. It'll be clear as day of what to do. So I go over to my building page. Now you can hit complete all, which will collect from everything that's ready, or you can click on the individual building and hit complete all that's in here already. Now it does take like a second or two to finish that process. But for the most part, it's pretty quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and ferment some cherries. And no, I don't want the XP. So I should talk about that too. Okay. Let's do that. So that feels quick. Now I hit complete all. Now here's how do you load. This is like a water filter that you could get from your premium pass. It'll be common or uncommon or maybe even rare. Click on the battery icon, hit max, or only add a couple, okay, depending on how many batteries you have. But hit confirm, and it's going to put power into that building. Now that that building has power, I'm going to go ahead and start my task. When you click to add tasks, I usually just hit max. But I have all the resources to do so. So like I have all the power, I have all the other mats, and I have enough stamina. Now, speaking of stamina, you have two things that you can do. You can post a work order, or which will let other people do it, or you can hit confirm, and you're basically going to do that task with your stamina. So if I hit confirm, it'll do just that. Now let's click on another one. Select all. This is a mining rig. Mining rigs are really cool. They're a little expensive, but they're just a nice, fun building. Real simple, easy to use. You can get regolith or ice from it. I usually use mine for ice. Now this one I'm going to post work order. Click on that. You can see right here, each worker receives 4 and you pay 4.16. You have 63 work orders slots remaining. So I have a ton of jobs out there. There's a 400 job cap, and I am at about 440-ish or 457 job. No, 357 jobs already listed. So I'm getting close to that cap. You don't have to worry about that if you're a new player as much, but eventually you want to get to a place where you're not just doing jobs and just doing your jobs, but you want to get to a place where you're providing jobs and grow your system to be able to do that, because not only does it help somebody else out, it helps you progress as well, and it's usually profitable depending on the job. So most jobs are profitable to job out, so it's okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, next on the list. Talked about inventory. Let's go back to the inventory. I usually find my buildings on here. As you can see, there's no red dots on any of this stuff, so none of this stuff is ready to be claimed or restarted. I got 43 minutes on my other grind and brew. Things are good. So inventory is pretty self-explanatory. This is also where you deposit your dusk or your Solana. And I think there's more Solana adaptation to come. But right now, I think you can just buy a few things, which is cool. Actually, that's in the shop, right? Oh. Yeah, here's some Solana stuff. It is sold out. It's the Martizens. And I believe more is coming. So we're just waiting for that glitter token. Don't know what the holdup is. I've heard some legal loopholes, but I don't know for sure. Not loopholes. Legal checks, trying to do things proper. Don't know if that's for sure or not, but that's just what I heard. So this is the job tab. This is where you can find work. And what you're going to want to do if you have extra stamina. First, run your own buildings. Get all that done first. If you have extra stamina, it's the end of the night and you're not going to need this stamina for anything else, I would just go ahead, click on electrical, chemistry, or life science, or mining, and put some stamina in that. So I would probably do most of mine on electrical, a reasonable chunk in life science, another good chunk could go in chemistry, and I think even just like a small chunk in mining. And what that looks like is this. So I will do electrical, and I will spend 10 stamina doing this, right? Now, this could be 10 jobs at 1 dusk per stamina, or it could be a couple jobs for that rate. But I'm saying this is what I'm willing to spend in the pool as far as stamina goes and how much I want to get paid. Don't worry about charging more. That's for when you're skilled at like level 25 or level 30. Then you can charge more for certain tasks. So let's go ahead and spend 10. here. Now that was an electrical. Click on life science. I'm going to do the same. Now, why am I doing this? I think it's better to be in multiple pools than to be in just one, because everyone knows that electrical has the most jobs. And you're like, well, why wouldn't you go there then, right? Well, because it also might have the most people in queue. So I don't know. It's without knowing the behind the scenes numbers of available jobs to rate of, you know, the jobs being listed and how fast they get turned over. It's hard to really know, but I'm just going to spread out my stamina in places where I think it will do good. And really, when you do this at the end of the night, guess what? You're not so concerned about getting the stamina back right away because you're not hurting for stamina. You're going to put your stamina here at the end of the night. You're going to go to bed. You're going to wake up. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to eat a snack, eat a meal, or eat a feast. And you're good again. So that stamina that's locked away in the job market for, I think it's up to like 4 days it can be locked away. I don't know for sure, but consider that stamina gone until those jobs start. So as you can see right here, I have bids out. You can see an electrical, life science, mining, chemistry. Okay. Now I have 3 jobs being worked right now. So some of the jobs I posted like yesterday, they've started, or maybe this was 2 days ago, whatever, doesn't matter. But if you post the jobs that you're looking for at the end of the night, you're not going to be concerned about getting that stamina back, because eventually that job's going to trigger and you'll be rewarded for it. And like I said, if it's at the end of the night, you're not going to care that you don't have any stamina because you'll be sleeping. So here's the jobs I have posted. That's a lot of jobs. 343 jobs posted. That is awesome. And there's a little history. I really don't know if you need to see the tab or not, but maybe if you're trying to think of like, hey, did I? And there's a history tab if you want to take a look. All right, moving on. That was jobs. This is the rental buildings. Here you can see current rentals that you have. Now you can rent buildings that you don't have. So if there's something that you want to make, you have the mats, you can borrow somebody else's building and get that done. And then you also have history of basically what you did. I will say one thing. If there's a dev listening, I hope there's a dev listening. It would be nice if I could click on this somewhere, somehow, and it bring me back to that same rental building. Because at least for me, unless there's another way I don't know about it, there might be another way. I have to go find a link in Discord to that land that I used. And then, you know, I have to do basically multiple steps to do that. When in game, it should be pretty easy to find these rental buildings. And maybe there is a way. I don't know. There might be a way. But for me, I don't know where they are. I have to find the link every time. One thing that is cool is you can find artifacts on here. I don't know why exactly you want to do that. Okay, let's check it out. Holy crap. Okay. Check it out. I don't know. I wanted to check out the artifact. Okay. So we're not going to worry about this. Now, what I will show you, if you get lost, like let's say you just did what I did, you clicked on an area of the map, you're like, holy crap, how do I get back home? You can click on your profile or your inventory and it'll load your plots. It takes a second and you'll find your way back home. Now, remember I said I have 4 libraries? Here's 3 of them. I have another one on another land space somewhere else, but I have them doing research. The reason I have multiple is because they are slow. They take 46 hours to complete that task. So having multiple is a good thing. And eventually, real soon here, they're going to make having a higher tier 1 more beneficial than having multiples. So my gut feeling is that you want a mix of both still. Like ideally you'd have a bunch of 10s, but if you have like a couple 10s and a few 5s, I think it's going to be just fine. But I don't really know until we have the notes. I'm just speculating. Anyway, so again, with the rental building tab, the history, have any link back to that building, I'm clicking and nothing's happening. So yeah, it would be lovely if it did that. Oh, that'd be epic. So your inbox, this is where some things will go, especially if you're renting buildings for tasks. This is where you'll see it once the task is complete, or you can go back to that building and claim it. I usually wait till it's in my inbox and then I get it. Okay. Now let's see. Down at the very bottom. Ooh, my thing is covering it up. Now, down at the bottom, you're gonna see you'll have a few other buttons. You'll have the Mars tab, which will pull up the map. You'll have what is this called? You'll have the map button, which will bring you back to the map that you last looked at. So there's that. That is really nice unless you explored and clicked on a place where you're like, now you're lost. Like I said, go back to your inventory, go back to your profile. You can find your home again. So here you have news. This is really cool. They are really good about communication and talking with the people, and then people know what's going on. There have been some hiccups in the past, but recently they made changes to make sure to give us heads up. Like these guys, they're willing to do what it takes to provide the best service to us. And this tab in game is huge. Like normally I'd say go to Discord for everything, but if you're not a fan of Discord, it's okay. You don't have to be in Discord. You can just play the game and use this news tab and get most of your relevant information here. Like you might miss out on some leaked information, but for the most part, you're going to get some of the upcoming stuff before it happens. So this is really cool. Pay attention to this stuff because it is important. Like how we were talking about levels before a little bit. There's upcoming changes where to do certain tasks, you're going to have to be a certain level. Now, this is subject to change until it's implemented, but planting bamboo, level 10, planting soy, level 15, mushroom tea, level 15, grow mushroom, level 20, plant coffee, 25. So if we go over to my greenhouse right now, none of that stuff that I listed takes any skill to do. So if I want to plant my coffee in the future, I have to be level 25, right? Now, what is that? Real quick, there's a training hall. Like I said, with your XP bar being full, you'll have the ability to click on your training hall or find someone who's renting one. That's actually better. I would rent a training hall before planting one. As long as they're charging a fair price to use it, it's not bad. So you can see all the stuff you need. One of them, apprentice. Okay, this is for me. Yours will be different. Mine says I need apprentice life science research. So until I get that, I cannot level to 26. I can buy it on the market, so it's no concern. But this is something you want to consider in the future. Leveling up your skills. Now, if you don't want to buy books on the market to be able to train and level up, that's why you need a library. You have your library, you can learn the books, take those books to the training hall. I don't even know where my building's at. And you make your own novice electrical research book and you can go ahead and train it. So that's why you want a library. That's what the training hall is about. That's what levels are about. It's you'll still be able to do stuff with your greenhouse. It's just going to limit some tasks to a skill gate. And for the overall health of the game, this is important. They do want to reward skilled players in certain areas. So if you're really good at greenhouse stuff, freaking awesome. The guy who's really good at electrical, he's probably going to need your help. and vice versa. If you're great at greenhouse stuff and not so great at electrical tasks, you're going to need to call the electrical guy, and he's going to have to come help you. And it's going to make this really nice dynamic. Right now, you are a jack of all trades, master of none. So they want to make you a master of a few things, but you're going to need help from some other people who are doing some of these other tasks, or are proficient in these other tasks. So that's what I grasped from it. I think it's a good thing. I think for the overall health of the game, it's important. Now, back down here. So that's the news tab. Check it out. Read through it. Depending on how old it is, it might not be relevant anymore. I would just maybe focus on the first few things that are linked. And let's go on to the next tab. So you have community, which will bring up the Discord. Oh, that's cool. So that's an official Discord link. That's nice to have. Remember, this is your warning. They do have, I believe, a CAPTCHA bot. But once you've done it, that bot will never PM you. So if someone PMs you pretending to be a bot or from the team, never listen to them, okay? Most likely a dev will never PM you without you PMing them first. It's just the usual relationship. And the bot certainly won't either. So if someone's pretending to be the bot, don't tell them nothing. Talk to somebody in an open chat channel or with other people around and confirm that whoever's DMing you is legit. I would consider most DMs a scam, okay? Rant over. Just be careful out there. Don't click on any links. Don't join any pump groups. It's all crap, okay? Rant over. But it is nice. You have a nice official link to their Discord, so you don't have to worry about getting scammed there. I'll also have a link in, I'll have links down below you can use as well, but there are some official ones here, which is really cool. The treasury one is really nice. It's just some nice data for you to look at. I mean, you can look at the all-time work orders, the amount of dusk that was put out there, the shop upgrades. As far as I know, like a lot of this gets burnt. Look at this. Total dusk burned. 28 million. Is that million? Yeah, 28 million dusk burned. The treasury is about 9 million, almost 9 million. So it's really cool to see some of the things that are going on. You can take a look at it for yourself, come to your own conclusions. I like that they're upfront with this information. It's there. Okay. This is really important. If you have a library, there's these things called chapters, okay? For me, I just bought cheap chapters, the cheapest chapters I can shove in here. Your first time you do it, you're going to get a little dusk, but for the most part, you're going to get research papers after that. You can claim these papers once a day for each chapter you have. But the dust that you get the first time is the first time only, and it's like 150 dusk or something like that for each book the first time. So doing that is definitely worth it. Now the Martizens, there's a whole page here. Just come read it. Okay, as far as I know, they're going to help with some tasks on your plots, give you a little bit of automation. Probably not 100% automation, to be honest, but they're going to give you, they're going to be quite valuable to you. So getting one eventually might be worth it, but you're going to have to do your own research. My advice from here, since they're sold out, would be wait till they come out and see what they do, and then find one that works best for your Mars system. I do a lot of coffee stuff, so I'm going to want one like this lady here, the Grind and Brew shirt. She would probably be one that I want on my place. So for you, maybe you're really into mining or tea shop stuff. Maybe you're really into Chem Lab or 3D print shop. Maybe you're printing your own solar panels, which you can do. It's possible. Then you want someone maybe proficient, a Martisan proficient in those areas. Now, All right. Okay, cool. So this tab is just player guide, and there's a ton of information here between what's Gen 1, what's Gen 2, shards and upgrading. This is really important. I know that, I don't know what your budget is, but maybe you want to buy as many stinking buildings as you can and a bunch of lands and just go super wide, right? Right. But this game, it can be really beneficial to actually build vertical. Okay. And in some cases, building vertical is cheaper than building wide. So instead of having like 5 solar panels across one land, it might be better off having one solar panel on that land and upgrading that baby to max level. And the reason for that is a solar panel at max level is around times 0.49 the production of one at level 1. So it is very good to upgrade, and each building will be different as far as how that works, but generally you get increased tasks. Generally you get decreased cooldown timers. So you can see that the output is just going to grow exponentially depending on the building. So upgrading, very important. Consider it. You don't necessarily have to go wide. You don't necessarily have to have mythic either. This is a little bit of a rant, but this is not a game where it's go mythic or go home. Get the best thing or go home. Sometimes it's more advantageous to just run the epics, just run the rares, level them up. Sometimes that is more important than what you have. Just upgrade the stuff that's in your budget. If you're a rare budget, go rares and upgrade them. A rare fully upgraded is probably better than a mythic not fully upgraded. So if you don't believe me, I can show you. But let's move on. Okay. So there's a player guide here. Upgrading has a cost. All the buildings are basically in this sheet. Most of the information you need is here. And if not, you can always contact me. I will be in my guild Discord. There are guilds for this game. Do you need one? No. Are they nice? Yes. You're going to get a group of people who are passionate about this game, especially if you join the guild that I'm in, the Madmen on Mars. We are very passionate about the game. We are very community driven. We are not a scholarship guild. We're not doing that whole thing. As cool as scholarships are, there's nothing quite as strong as a community. So we are a traditional guild like you would see in like a World of Warcraft or other game where guilds kind of come together, collaborate with ideas, talk, think things through. There's guys that I agree with. There's guys who I disagree with on some things, and we just talk about it. We never really fight or anything like that. We just talk. We just talk about it, and it's great. It's nice to have people who are doing blah blah. It's nice to have people who are like-minded and are trying to do the same thing. And it's cool because they will think about things that you didn't think about, or vice versa. And it's just great. So I love having people to chat with, not just typing, but sometimes on voice too. So if you ever want to be a part of that, you're welcome to join the guild. And you can find out more information about that in the link below to the Tilt and Shift Discord, the Overseas Madman Discord, to join the madness on Mars. Now, Madmen on Mars. Now, damn, that was a lot. That was a ton. We covered the UI. We covered about everything. What you're going to want to do is get real familiar with what you have. If you're a premium pass person, you have a greenhouse, you have solar, you have a water filter, and a CAD. You're going to want to get real familiar with running that system, trying to get all your tasks used up for each building, and just being as well prepared as possible. Okay. All my tasks are running all the time. Yes, I do sleep. So some stuff has to wait for me to wake up. Not a big deal. Some of these cooldowns are very, very long. So in this game, I don't really feel like I'm missing out much. Look at 33 hours. I can set this and not have to worry about it for over a day. Some other cooldowns, like my coffee machine, my brew coffee, 1.56 hours. So you're talking like an hour and 33 minutes. I don't know why it says like .56 here, but it ends up being like, I think 1 hour and 33 minutes. But it's cool. So that's the thing too about coffee. You want to get into coffee. Coffee has really fast cooldowns. It uses a gangster amount of power. So if you don't have a lot of solar, I don't know if I recommend coffee. I'm just being honest. I would say get more solar, get more land, then consider getting the grind and brew, or not. Just grow, or just water filter. You can buy the ice to filter water. Ice is very cheap, and filtering water is profitable. Now, another thing to consider when you're picking what you want to do, you can go to this calculator site and see what's profitable and what's not. Things you want to consider is cooldown. So like, let's say you hit toggle all, right? And you see, holy crap, library electronics 101 is 482% profitable. That's insane. You're like, mind blown, right? Doesn't matter, because that is crap. I know. Hold on. It's not necessarily crap, but it's a long cooldown. It's like 40 plus hours. So you can make 482% in 40 hours, or you can make 63% filtering water. This is assuming that you bought the ice too. 63%. It's every 4 hours. So we take that 40, I think it's a 46-hour cooldown from the library. Divide that by 4. That equals 11 and a half. Okay, you take that 11 and a half. You times that by 63%. That equals 724%. The library electronics 101 was 486% profit on that. Well, instead of doing that, you could have ran and filtered a bunch of water, made more because it's a shorter cooldown. Yes, it is like lower profit, but 63% is actually huge. Like, that is huge profit for what you're putting into it. And it's a fast cooldown. It's a building that I have no problem level up. All my water filters are max level. Okay, except for one. I need more legendary water filter shards. If you're willing to help me out with those, please let me know. They're not expensive, but I need a lot of. And the buy order just sits there. Even if I raise the price, it's like I just never get them. So anyway, water filter, very good. Very good to level up. Get your extra task slots. Get that reduced cooldown. Water filters are amazing. I say that and I sell filtered water. So don't necessarily want you flooding my market, but water filtering is awesome. Ferment beans. Let's check out ferment beans. 15% profit. Still pretty good, right? Ferment sorghum. 24%. Still good. No matter what you do on the water filter, it is good. Let's go to the greenhouse. Greenhouse. Plant coffee, 37%. Plant potato, 24%. Plant soy, 23. Carrots, 18. 14. And you know what? You look at these numbers, like, who cares? It's all profitable. It's all most of it's profitable. Plant lettuce, not very profitable. Okay, don't do that. Don't grow mushrooms. Mushrooms aren't very profitable either, unless you're selling the tea down the road. So maybe you take a hit on growing mushrooms, but maybe you make that up in selling tea. I don't know. Plant sprouts, not very good. Plant sunflower seeds, not very good either. So consider the cost, but most things that you do will be profitable. This will change. Damn, I need water. As the market changes, so does what's profitable, and by how much or how little. So be ready to switch. It's not necessarily a moment's notice, but like on a week to week basis, things change. If a lot of people see that captured carbon is 235% after fees, then more people will start probably capturing carbon, thus making more supply, thus reducing the overall profit on that, right? But make soil is still really good. This is for the CAD. Roast beans is like 10%, but whatever. You can have a bunch of CADs, do a bunch of carbon dioxide, make a bunch of soil, or do whatever. Roast beans. It's less profit roasting beans, but there's a market for it and it is profitable. So just take a look at this calculator. Consider the cooldown. Like I said, you don't necessarily want to have one library and be thinking that all your dreams are going to be filled and you're going to have this awesome Mars colony and this nice little base built up, or these lands and buildings. But it's just really slow, right? So that's why multiple libraries is key if you're going to go with a like library strat, which some people do. Some people have like 5, 6, 10, 20 libraries. Okay. It is a thing, but it's not something I'm going to recommend like out the gate. Solar is very profitable. It's 23%. However, that's per task. So I have solar panels with, let's see. So I have one of each panel, except for Mythic. Okay, I'm trying to find a Mythic in game. No luck. 13 tasks. 11 tasks. It depends on the level and the rarity. But I have a ton of solar, all making me profit. Now I usually take that profit and shove it into buildings. So in a way, I'm rolling my profit from being able to sell it at that profit to using it and helping the next process be profitable. So I don't sell my power typically. I just make it and plug it in. So, but there are lots of processes that are profitable. This one here in Polar Workshop, Rodriguez Well. I don't know nothing about this cooldown or this task, but it is 200%. That is really good. It's a build cost of a little over 1 dusk and a sale of a little over 3 dusk. So that's a gain of a little over 2. So that is really, really good. There are some other profitable tasks as well. Let's see. Smelter. This is an example right here too. So you see smelter and you're like, smelt glass. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be the smelt glass guy. You have to do your research a little bit. Okay. It's 538%. However, I believe you need to learn the smelt glass recipe. You might even need to be skilled for it a little bit. And even though there is a gain after sale, I don't know too many people who need smelted glass. Okay, so just do some research on some of the buildings that you might not know a lot about. For me, I don't know enough about the smelter to make a decision on that, but I'm thinking might not be the best early user building. So, machine shop. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all these buildings, but there are plenty of buildings to get into. I like my chem lab. I generally make empty cells. It is not profitable. However, I still like doing it. It's a minus 7% loss, but it is what it is. Brewing coffee. Coffee is about 35% gain. Now, remember that I gained on the solar. I gained on the planting coffee, which is the process before brewing. I gained on the fermenting the coffee grounds. I've gained on the roasting coffee. So every step of the coffee process, I rolled profit. At the end, I end up with something that's really, really profitable because my build cost is a lot lower than it's listed here because I was involved every part of the way. So, and And since each step was profitable, my build cost goes down. If each part of that process was negative, it would have the opposite effect. My build cost would be higher, my profit would be lower. So just things to consider. Like I said, tea shop Baju. I don't know what it takes. I don't know if it's a recipe you gotta learn or and how easy it is to get it. But damn, I would be looking at a tea shop if I was a premium pass user, getting into the game, looking at expanding, getting another land, getting more solar, and then seeing about this tea shop. Maybe tea shop and libraries. That might be a good sneaky strat, especially a high level library. If you can start to level that building up, might be very good in the near future. That is it.